Bitcoin is creating this huge triangle on the daily time frame where we could see a break very soon. Today I will discuss Bitcoin with you on multiple time frames. I will have a look at some Bitcoin news, and also the Bitcoin ETF saw another interesting day. Later in the video I will also talk about Ethereum and XRP. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel to never miss a video in the future. With that being said, let's dive right into the charts. On the 1 hour time frame we can see that Bitcoin was in its huge consolidation phase, and we saw multiple touch points on the top side as resistance and also multiple touch points on the downside as support. And yesterday we broke out, and after that I was saying that we're going to see a little bit of a retest, and I will show you a clip of my video of yesterday. And we can see Bitcoin is breaking out of this consolidation pattern to the top side, so that is a bullish break. But for now I am expecting that we're going to see maybe a little bit of a retest to retest this previous resistance as support, and from there we can aim for higher prices. So yesterday I was talking about that we're possibly going to see a retest at this point. We were at this point, and that we're going to see a retest of the previous resistance to turn it into support, and that's exactly what we did. So this was a very interesting place to enter a market in the long, because you always have to wait for a retest of the previous resistance to turn it into support, and from there you can aim for higher targets, and that's exactly what we did. So you could already have made an interesting trade from here, and from the point of entry you could already have made a one almost for 2%, and in trading that's an interesting trade. So for now I expect that Bitcoin is going to maybe see a little bit more upside from here, and we need to create a higher high for this level, and that we're going to create more upside momentum. So it looks like that Bitcoin is going to see more of a trend reversal. And if we have a look at the 4 hour time frame, we can see Bitcoin is creating higher lows, and we're also creating a little bit of higher highs. But for now we are at this resistance area, and we need to break this resistance area before we can become a little bit more bullish. Bitcoin is now creating a new higher low, and we need to break this resistance to create a higher high, and that will be very bullish, and that could indicate a trend reversal on the 4 hour time frame. And eventually I want to see a retest of this previous resistance, turn it into support, and then aim for higher targets, and that will be a nice uptrend for Bitcoin on a 4 hour time frame. And eventually we want to see this kind of structure happening on the daily time frame as well, because the higher the time frame, the more valid an uptrend can be. And we are now seeing that Bitcoin is running into this big resistance on the daily time frame. So we need to break this resistance first, and then eventually we can become a little bit more bullish. So I want to see a break of this resistance area, a retest of this resistance to turn it into support, and from there we can aim for this next big resistance on the daily time frame. So the big resistance after that will be at $64,000. But first we have to gain this level, and that will be done in the coming days. And of course we could also see a rejection from this point, and then we will have to aim for lower levels. And if we're aiming for lower levels, we can come all the way back down to $52,000. So that's the possible scenario that could play out, and that will be the bearish scenario. And if we have a look at the Bitcoin ETFs, we saw an interesting day again yesterday. We saw an inflow of $147 million again. And we can see the Fidelity Bitcoin ETF is buying in heavily again, and eventually they will help us out of this huge dip. So the spot Bitcoin ETFs are looking very bullish, and they bought more than 654 million in 3 days. That's a good thing to see. And of course the German government was also selling their BTC, and the Bitcoin ETFs single-handedly flattened out this selling pressure. So this was a very interesting week for now, and let's see if the Bitcoin ETFs can buy in more, and eventually we will see Bitcoin bottoming out, especially with this kind of buying pressure. A very interesting pattern for Bitcoin is unfolding on a daily time frame. We can see this huge triangle unfolding. We can see multiple touch points on the downside as support, and this indicates that this trend line support is looking very strong. But also on the top side we can see a lot of resistance coming into the market, and this is the first big resistance for Bitcoin to break. So eventually this price is getting squeezed into this apex, and eventually we are going to see a break to either the top side or a break to the downside. And of course we all want to see the bullish scenario playing out, but you have to keep in mind that we could also see a bearish scenario playing out, and that we're going to see much lower levels. And if we do so, I already told you the first big support will be around this level, and it will be around the $52,000. So keep in mind that if we're breaking down from this huge triangle, the first big support will be at the $52,000. And if you're going to see a break to the top side, breakout target will be the top side of this formation, and that will be around this level. And that will be around $72,000. So yeah, this could have a very bullish effect on the markets for Bitcoin in the short term. Yeah, this break of this huge triangle could also happen later this week, or maybe in the beginning of next week. But keep in mind that Bitcoin always tends to break out before an apex is getting reached. So we could maybe possibly see this breakout happening later in this week. I will also have a look at the chart of the S&P 500. That's the chart of the 500 biggest companies in America. And we can see, yeah, all-time high after all-time high is getting reached. And this is a huge indicator for the stock market that we are at, still at all-time highs. And yeah, this exponential move to the top side could also happening for Bitcoin very soon, because they always tend to be moving a little bit at the same pace. Yeah, and if you look at this chart is just up only. And yeah, we could also see maybe something similar for Bitcoin happening in the long term, because also we saw here a very huge uptrend to the top side on the weekly time frame, and we are seeing up only actually on the chart. And of course, after this huge run up to the top side, we are now seeing a little bit of consolidation. But yeah, of course, we want to see a spike upwards again and create more exponential moves, just like the S&P 500. The first altcoin I want to have a look at is Ethereum. I've been talking about Ethereum a lot lately, and yeah, after this huge pump for this Ethereum ETF, we saw a decline of the price, and we're now back at the pre-pump levels. And yeah, this support around the $2,900 is holding very strong. And I also have been mentioning this on my Twitter channel a lot, and also in my latest videos, that I've been buying heavily in Ethereum, especially at this price range, because when we were at this point, everyone was in stages of euphoria, and I was telling you that my buy orders were still at this place. So yeah, we came all the way down. My buy orders were getting hit, and yeah, now I'm a little bit more in profit, but I'm in Ethereum for the long term. So I expect that Ethereum is maybe going to the $5,000 in the short term, and maybe in this next bull cycle we will see prices about the $10,000. So I think buying Ethereum was a good thing to do here at this accumulation zone. And for now, yeah, we are seeing a bounce from this support. So the first big resistance will be around this level, and it will be around 3.2k. And eventually we want to see a break of this resistance again, retest it as support, and then create a more of a trend reversal also for Ethereum. So yeah, we need to see more bullishness coming into the market for Ethereum and create more upside price action. But for now, we are in this downtrend, so we could also see maybe a retest of the support. You could also maybe enter the market there for spot buy orders, or maybe in a long. But yeah, keep in mind that the trend is still down, so we could also see a bearish break for Ethereum. But I don't want to think about that yet. So yeah, I'm looking more to the top side first, because we didn't test this resistance yet. And Ethereum is looking a little bit more bullish than bearish, because the Ethereum ETF is close to the finish line, says a Bitwag executive. We could see the Ethereum ETF is going live in the next 1.5 weeks. So this could also have a very interesting effect on the price of Ethereum, of course, just like what we saw with the Bitcoin ETF. Like a lot of institutional money will flow into the Ethereum markets, and that will have a very positive effect on the markets. So yeah, buying in on Ethereum at these kind of prices is still cheap in my opinion, and we are still at the $3,000. So for instance, if we're going to the $10,000, then you could still make a 300% increase, and that is insane. The second altcoin I want to have a look at is Ethereum. Ethereum has been in this huge downtrend on a daily time frame. We can see yeah, some kind of a falling wedge occurring for Vechain. But Vechain is looking a little bit bearish, because we broke this daily support to the downside. We saw a break here, and now we are retesting this previous support as resistance. So we could also see a continuation of the bearish trend and see more downside from here. But if we have a look at the weekly time frame, we can see Vechain is showing a little bit more strength for now. And we can also already see a weekly candle of 16%, so that is pretty big. But we can see a lot of price action here happening around this level. So this will be a strong level for Vechain to gain again. And if Vechain is gaining a little bit more strength, and we're going to see a weekly close above this level, that would be very bullish. And maybe we can see a trend reversal happening for Vechain pretty soon in the coming future. And that would have a bullish price effect, of course. But for now, we are in this big downtrend. And yeah, before this downtrend is getting broken, we have to aim for lower prices, because we are in this huge bearish trend for now. And the last support for Vechain will be around this low side level, and that will be around 1.5 cents. So yeah, that could also have a little bit more bearish effect for now. But also, Altseason is coming closer and closer. And if you want to know when Altseason is going to start, you have to click on the video that's popping up right on your screen right now. I will tell you everything about Altseason there. I hope you find this video useful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.